Hello folks, and welcome to my March comic manga reading wrap-up. This month I've also read a decent chunk of comics and finished 2 mangas. So let's get started. I'm gonna start with the mangas because there's a lot less of them. Alright, so I finished reading Beyond the Clouds Volume 1 by Nick, or Nikki. I see the name there. This lady. Yeah, this is one I started in 2022. And then I put it somewhere. I couldn't find it. And then in March, I finally found it and finished reading it that day. So it's very cute. It's a nice little fantasy story. Since I'll show you a page, the art style, since I'm not going to make a video about it. There's the art style. It's very pretty. Also, the cover itself has beautiful colors. Very lovely. Yeah, it's a cute little fantasy story about this world and this teenage boy. I didn't even realize he was a teenager. It just looked way younger than that. He's barely 16. It's like, oh shit. So he meets this little girl that has wings, but she loses one wing. Yeah, it's a nice little fantasy story. I did really enjoy it. I'm not gonna pick up the rest though. As cute as it was, I usually like my fantasy with some more dangers and fighting. But still, if you like cutesy stories with fantasy, I would recommend picking this up. It's very nice. That one finally, and then it's gonna go in the sell pile. And I finally finished reading My Hero Academia Volume 4. I started this actually the day Dad brought Doyle home, and I've finally finished it this month. Yeah, it was good. I enjoyed all the volumes so far. It's just right now it's. This focuses on the tournament they're having at their academy. So it was pretty cool. Learned about some more new characters. This one here with the goggles and pink hair is quite an interesting girl. Yeah, and at some point I'll pick up Volume 5 and continue reading. I don't know when that'll be, though. But at some point. Okay, now for the comics. I will hold back here. I'll give this, I'll at least mostly, yeah, I flipped them around, so I'll show you what order I read them. Should have done that when I started this shite, never mind. Okay, so the first comic I finished in March was this annual, part 3, the Von Starker Gambit. It's a Captain America annual. I got this Lear Family for me. I bought it because it has a Mike Mignola cover. And it was an interesting read, actually. I quite enjoyed it. If I would have found the other 2 parts, I would have bought them. It would have been a pretty cool story. I like Cap and Mike Mignola's art style. Yeah, I read this one. This I'm gonna keep. Then I read, there's like 2 here. Oh no, it's just very thick. Then I read this one. It's Legion of Superheroes, issue 8. And this is by Marvel. This is a comic I think I had in one of those comic packs I used to buy from Summit. So yeah, it's by Mark Waid, actually. Yeah, Mark Waid wrote in here. I don't like how he wrote Brainiac. It appears to be quite an ass, but it was interesting, I suppose. Well, obviously, it's issue 8, so it's much further in the story. So the stuff in here I'm missing, but there's trouble with the Legion and with the planets and shit. But yeah, sell pile, or I'll actually ask Mr. Gray if maybe he wants this one. He likes Legion a lot too. Then I read Tales of Suspense. Featuring the power of Iron Man. This is issue 57. Also by Marvel. This is that facsimile of this. This is where Hawkeye first appears. No, it was pretty entertaining. It's kind of funny how he becomes Hawkeye, the original reason. But yeah, it was pretty fun. At least seeing him interact with Natasha, he's in love with her. So yeah. I liked it, but I don't think I'm gonna keep it. Oh, I do like Hawkeye's costume and his later costume. And this is, I couldn't remember, I was talking about this in my March vlog. And I was thinking Tales, I was thinking of Tales to Astonish, and I couldn't remember the name was Tales of Suspense. Before, this is before it was called Iron Man. It's just in Tales of Suspense. Right, Cell Pile. Then I read Eclipso, The Darkness Within, issue 1. That's a special issue by DC. I really like this one. I definitely keep it because it got the plastic diamond. I quite like the gimmick. Man, this is interesting. I would totally read about Eclipso. And a Dr. Bruce Gardner or Gordon. Gardner, I think. I forgot his surname again. But yeah, I really liked it. I would definitely read about him and the Mr. Bruce. So yeah, this was cool. Keeping it. Then I read Archie's Valentine Spectacular. This one I also got a while ago. Oh, and this I bought from Leor a year or two ago. Yeah, this is also a bit older. Came out, I think, yeah, also in 2022, maybe. Like all Archie comics I read, it's really cute. It's got I guess like a parody of Taylor Swift, but it's Taylor Sweet. Oh, shit. No, Taylor went down. Well, you've seen it. It was cute. They're also going into the cell pile. I think if Doyle was sleeping right now, he would have been chewing it. But yeah, it was cute, and it was by Archie Comics. I usually enjoy a bit of Archie sometimes. Oh, I also had I already read that story in another Archie comic. It's where their teacher lady, she's Veronica and Betty find out she's an author of these romance books. I'm certain I've read that story in another one before. Alright, then I found and read Ant. I had it in my piles. I forgot I got the second issue. It was okay. I did a video about the first issue long ago. I got the second one, but I decided not to get it any further, and I'm glad I didn't. This second issue was quite confusing, I will say, in terms of the timeline and how it starts, and I'm not sure what the fuck is supposed to continue here. Also, Ant is 14, but goddamn the body they drew her. I mean, again, some girls develop a lot earlier, but it feels a little bit excessive. Should have at least made her 17 in age. It would have made a bit more sense than I think. At the end of the day, I don't really care. So yeah, I read this one. I'm also Cell Pile. I'm not gonna pursue that one. Oh, and then I read Hellboy and the BPRD 1957. Sorry, that's my phone. Forgotten Lives. This is a one-shot. It's a story where Hellboy and the Professor, where they go to, I think somewhere in America. There's a ghost in some island where they bury people. And Hellboy and the Professor are trying to do something about it. And they go to a sale of the people that were buried there as an auction for their stuff. And Hellboy actually figures out who the ghost is and remembers him. And that helps the ghost, although he and the Professor don't realize it. You see, the guy is someone who, spoilers, who wrote a bunch of Lobster Johnson stories. So it's really cool. I loved it. Obviously keeping it. And then I read this facsimile, The Amazing Spider-Man, issue 252. I quite enjoyed this one. I think at least for now I'll keep it. What I did find funny though is that, right, the kids here, they look different inside the comic. This kitty is actually black in the comic. So I don't understand why he's like this on the cover, and it seems a bit odd. And the girl's blonde as well inside. That's a pretty interesting story. It's after Spider-Man returns from the Secret War thing with Dr. Connors. And he spots these two kids that are arguing, and he shows them more of the city. Yeah, for now I will keep it, but I'll see it later. Oh, and then I read, and this is the issue right after, it's a Spider-Man 253, and it's where the Rose appears. Someone on Slingers showed this one in the Surrounded theme, and I thought the Rose sounded interesting, so when I saw the facsimile, I said to buy it. So I'm also gonna keep it. I enjoyed the read. And then finally, I finished reading Hellboy: The Bones of Giants. I couldn't find the last issue, and I finally did. Oh, it was a good conclusion to the story. I enjoyed it. It was cool to see Hellboy in Norse mythology, and how Mike Mignola drew. Well, no, not Mike Mignola. The artist is Matt Smith. How he drew the northern gods. Excuse me. Yeah, that one's obviously, I'm keeping it. Then I read issue 4 of Usagi Yojimbo Ice and Snow. I got the B cover by accident. It's very pretty though. This one did not continue as I thought it would in the last 2 issues, but still a really enjoyable story. And then I read it's going to be the Silver Lantern Club. I read issue 2 of the Silver Lantern Club. It's where the professor and Hellboy, they go to meet the professor's uncle, his Uncle Simon, in a pub called Monk's Head. And he tells them about the Silver Lantern Club, which I guess was kind of like a BPRD before there was a BPRD. And Sarah Edward Grey was there as well. And so that's basically all they do. And I finished Usagi Yojimbo Ice and Snow. Issue 5. Issue 5. I was surprised at how it ended, actually. It's just that way I thought it would. But still, I enjoyed it like I do most of Stan Sakai's work. Then issue 3 of the Silver Lantern Club. Then issue 4 of the Silver Lantern Club. And it's, if you notice, as the issues progress, Hellboy looks more and more tired. Until, in the last issue here, he's asleep. So it's like he gets more and more drunk almost. Or more tired. I thought that was a really, really nice touch there on the covers. You see the whole concept of the cover, you have Hellboy in the chair. And then up here you have the creature that Uncle Simon's going to tell about. And then last but by no means least, I read Lobo Infanticide, issue 2. It's a 4-parter miniseries by DC. That was some crazy shit, I will say. Lobo's bastard children want to kill him and devise a plan. Holy shit. The problem is here, I kind of like the kooky art style, but they really should have gotten a different colorist for this. Because the way it's colored sometimes, it makes it really fucking hard to understand what's going on. Like in smaller details. But yeah, this was okay. I'm not going to keep it though. I'm not going to continue reading it. I'm not going to look for the other parts. I thought it was nice, but not beyond that. Oh, excuse me. That's really, we have a heat wave currently, and it's making everything feel dry. So So that's it. These are all the comics I read in March. I didn't read a comic a day through the entirety of March, or else there would have been more comic books. How many were there? Let me count. Let's see. That's the one that fell. And then we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18. So about 18. Nice. Not bad. But yeah, if I read one the entire month, it would have been 31. But yeah, well, maybe in April I will. Alright, so that is it, folks. Let me know if you read any of these and what you thought about them. Yeah, and, yeah, that's about it. Remember, collect what you're passionate about and share it on YouTube. Bye!